Did I click? Okay, yeah.
Broadcast is live.
We are live.
We are
It's been a little
alive.
slow on my end here. We are live. Yep, I just got the notification. Welcome to the Turaco Creative Cast. It's been a while since we've been here. We're doing on a special day today. We have a special guest. Before we get to that, I am Frank Salazar, aka Captain Goggles, and where did I put it? So you can now get the Captain Goggles and Nescoman comic. There's a link in the description below, the Turaco Comics link. There's an Etsy in there, so you can get this. I also have a link to the Gumroad, so you can get the digital comic. And I accept tips, so if you want to drop a few bones there in that link. And we have a special guest today. We have CB Smallwood. Before we get to CB, like Anna hasn't been on for a while.
Dun dun dun.
So like, yeah. Tell us, introduce yourself, Anna.
Hi, my name is Anna. In case if you couldn't tell, aka Mask Woman, because that's the nickname I have here apparently. And then Dream Hatchling is what's after the ... on the thing on my name. Yeah, it's been a little while since I've been here. There's been a lot of stuff going on with family, and then I've got that job janitorial down with my older brother, so it's like jungling everything, and it literally overlaps with this time. Like he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'll let you stay home and do the live stream thing today," and I was like, "Thank you." But that's because there wasn't a whole lot to do. But yeah, I've been working a lot behind the scenes, and I'm also working on a website right now that I'm kind of fussing over, and OCD. I have perfectionism. Help me. But enough about me. I might get back to that. I'm relearning social skills, I guess. But we have a super special guest today. I want to hear what he has to say, and that's this direction. CB Smallwood.
Yeah.
Thank you for showing up.
All right.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm really happy to be here. And for people that don't know me, I am of course CB Smallwood. I am the creator of a wild, over the top character named Wildcat. Also, a couple other things, like Monster Patrol and doing a reboot of public domain character Super American, all this other stuff. But right now, me and a lot of awesome individuals have come together to put together that kind of rhymed like Dr. Seuss, Cat in the Hat, Green Eggs.
Red on.
But we all came together to make this, to make a Wildcat anthology book. It's all about my character, yes. Wildcat. 6 different stories, 6 different creative teams, and it's like 80 plus pages, and it's on Indiegogo right now.
So there's awesome. That picture there, and that's the Indiegogo link, and there's a link in the description below. So if you want to go back that, I think you're like close to 700 CB last time I checked.
Yeah, about $5 away, $695, and indeed, we're trying to get to a $1,500 fixed goal. Which, for those that don't know, you can either have your Indiegogo set to a fixed go or a non-fixed go. So if it's fixed, basically what it means is if you get funded, great, everything's gravy. But if not, you don't keep any of the cash. It all gets refunded all back to the backers. So it's kind of all or nothing.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So,
victory or defeat. That's the way it's got to be. Yeah.
Choose victory.
And there is a let me go grab that. So it's right there. It's right there in the comments. It's pinned. Indiegogo.com. Wildcat Cat Anthology. So go back it.
Yeah, go
And,
check it
I
out. It looks
backed.
like an awesome collection of
Yes.
work.
Yeah, I already backed it. I think Anna backed it as well.
Hmm.
So
Yep.
yeah, it's,
I really appreciate that too. That was really cool. That made my day.
yeah. We as indie creators ourselves, we want to see this backed and published and made.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I know what it is to be working on a project for a while and just be happy to hold it in your hands. So just got this. There's a copies left in the Etsy store, so you want to go back that as well. Not back it, but just get a copy.
Yeah, yours is ready to go. It's ready to be shipped any moment.
Yeah, that's I mailed out 2 copies today. I mailed out copies yesterday, so people are buying it.
Yeah.
I do have the digital, so if you guys want to check that out. And the cool thing with the digital, I made an extra book that's only digital for now, a digital sketchbook. So it's this, but it's like the sketches, the layouts. It's a 50-page book, so like for like $6,
very cool.
you're getting two books. So like that's on Gumroad. So. All right.
Yay!
All right. So, any special announcements, Anna? Anything we need to like cover?
I don't know. I looked at the cupcake on my desk and I went, cupcake. Special announcements. As far as like the project we're working on, Warp Anchor 7.
Yeah, if you want to talk about it, I was actually gonna say if you want to show the dragon that you got for your birthday.
Yeah. If I can unwind my, there it is. Yeah. Okay, gotta do this right.
Oh, Keith Harper is in the chats.
Oh, that's cool.
It's super awesome.
Yeah,
that's
it's so pretty.
Pretty cool.
It's like my favorite colors.
And it's a shiny plastic, right?
Yeah.
It's like almost like a metallic. Cool. So, for people that aren't aware, that is a birthday gift to Anna from the TuracoCreativeCast, and Keith Harper was one of the ones that put in some dough to get made.
Thank you guys so much. Also, look at that adorable dog.
Yeah, he kept hopping up here. He wanted up here, so I'm letting him be up here for a little bit. When he's given to us, his name is Rocky. So I still call him Rocky, but for some reason he looks like a Roger, and he responds to that as well.
Oh, okay.
Roger Rocky.
He's ready to get down now.
So that's not Bones?
No, Bones is an outdoor dog. He's kind of he's not like a real big dog. Like he's, I don't know, let's see, about almost 3 foot tall. If you go by the head down to the feet, he's a brown dog, kind of a mutt, and he's about well, I can't really show my hands on camera because it goes out of scope, but I would say about 3 to 4 foot long or something, long tail.
Let's see which vertebrae is that. 39th.
And Cyburns is in the chat. So, and Ictus, I didn't say. So hi everyone, welcome everyone for stopping by. I know it's been a while. So
18.
Let's get wild about Wildcat, the title
Yes.
says. So
Yes.
Let's talk Wildcat. So you want me to ask like the standard questions? What's your inspiration? Where did you first get your idea? Or like just something off the wall?
Just ask away.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell me about this Wildcat. Where did you first get the inspiration for this character or the idea?
Oof, and that goes back to the early '90s, and the first iteration of Wildcat was um, a mix between like Weapon X and a little bit of Spider-Man, and
Mm-hmm.
originally, he would shoot chains out of his wrist,
Okay.
and it's sort of like Omega Red and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and then it changed, and he became more of a Wolverine-ish, saber-toothish type of character.
I see
Um,
that there with the claws.
yes, yes, yes. So I kind of wear my influences on my sleeve. The iteration that you see of Wildcat now was made in 1994, and I've
Okay.
actually still got the original drawing, and so he doesn't look very different from how he did back then to now. I know when in 2017, when I was getting serious about being a comic book artist, um, after some nudging from my friend Will Avenger, because I nudged him to do something with his character, so he nudged me. Um, when I started working on Wildcat, I was like, "Oh shoot, I need more stuff to separate him from what's already out there." I remember back. I don't know if people remember Amalgam Comics, but back in the late '90s, DC and Marvel had a crossover, and they had all their heroes and maybe some of their villains actually fight one another, and the fans got to vote who the winners would be. And it was really cool. They only did like 2-page battles, which was kind of lame, but it's still cool. But out of that, what they did was they did another company crossover where they merged the universes of Marvel and DC, and it was called Amalgam Comics. It was awesome. You had I think Superman and Captain America mixed to make Super Patriot, or it might even been Super American. I'm not for sure. And then you had Wolverine and Batman made Dark Claw, and they had all these cool combinations. And X Patrol was one of my favorites. But anyway, the reason I bring it up is I remember that when they had the heroes battling one another, they had Lobo versus Wolverine. I was looking at it, I was like, "Oh, don't make an amalgam of them. I'll be screwed." Because that's basically Wildcat if they mix those two together. And, thankfully they never did. But fast forward to more present times in 2017 when I dusted the character off, that question come up again of like what separates him from what's already out there. So one of the first things I did was I just decided to give him a rock arm. I had a character that had 2 rock arms, and I was thinking about that, and I was like, well, I'll give Wildcat a rock arm. He already had a cybernetic eye at this point, and
Cool.
and I was like, well, that's still not enough, because he does have the Wolverine Sabretooth sideburns. So, heck with it. I'm going to give him pointy ears. So I just drew pointy ears on him to see how that would look. And then at first I was kind of like, it was weird because I've spent like decades drawing this character off and on with normal ears. And now I'm drawing these big pointy ears. And then now I just got used to drawing the pointy ears. I can't imagine him without them. When it came time to color his rock arm, I wasn't for sure what colors to go with. I thought about orange, like the Thing, maybe even yellow, but I figured that'd be too bright, and I settled on red because it's a good contrasting color.
Oh wow.
And but then I got into Hellboy afterward, and I
Okay.
was like, oh man, now he's got a big bright red arm like Hellboy, and I was like, well, you can't be perfect, So anyway, the whole idea behind Wildcat, after all these changes, is basically he's a He's a guy that's done some things in his past that he's not too proud of. He's a mysterious character, and in the 80s, these people get together. They poison him with uranium because that's the only way they can slow his healing factor down enough to where they can do him damage. And they just basically mutilated him, RoboCop style, in a old haunted forest, and they blew his brains out with a shotgun, and they buried him. And you fast forward to the present, he basically comes back up out of the grave. And he can heal real fast. He's got this cybernetic eye, does all kinds of cybernetic stuff. It can crawl out of his head, shoot laser beams. It can do night vision. It can do the whole 9 yards. Similar to like Deathlock or a little bit like the Terminator and Cable and stuff like that. He has gray skin, these weird red facial tattoos. He can go into like feral mode where like this black liquid goes over his eyes and he just goes berserk. He's got these razor sharp black claws that can cut through most anything. He's very strong. He's got heightened senses and all that good stuff. And he does one other cool thing. I don't know if I should ruin it or not. If people really ask me, I will. But there's something really cool that he does that I've never told anybody before, other than Will Avenger. And
secret.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But anyway, with this anthology, we're going to have this wild, out of control character. He's going to be in this anthology comic. It's going to be 80 pages with 6 different creative teams, about 9 different people working on this book, doing their stories. And it takes place in this world between dreams and nightmares and reality and unreality, and just this weird zone, and this castle in the middle of this dead zone where this guy called Dr. Terror and his Jawa knots have Wildcat in their custody, and they're experimenting on him, and they're doing things to try to find out the location of the mysterious Azkani Shigorn, a device that makes the probable improbable, the improbable probable, the impossible possible, and the possible impossible. It does everything and nothing.
Say that 5 times fast.
I would.
The impossible.
I would, but like if I did, then it would cause minds to explode. So I kind of keep that to myself.
I think my mind already exploded 5 times.
We have a question here. I don't know if you want to answer it or not.
Yeah.
It might be spoilery, but what is Wildcat's origin? How did he get his powers? Or is that spoilery, says Keith Harper.
Okay. It is somewhat spoilery, but let me see what I can reveal. Well, first of all, his rock arm, he was not born with it. It's a parasite. Okay.
I have a question about that. Since he has a rock arm, does he have rock hard abs?
Sometimes it depends on how much he drinks, but he has a very fast metabolism, so it straightens itself out fairly quickly.
Okay.
But his rock arm is actually kind of like this alien parasite. I'm still working on the origin first issue of Wildcat Dead Man Walking, which is going to come out after the anthology book. But the way I've gotten it written right now is as they are massacring Wildcat, one of the things he happened to have with him that probably came from a parallel universe from one of the mysterious staircases to nowhere in the woods is this rock parasite thing. And, Wildcat's arm's lopped off and everything, and it just bites the socket where his arm used to be as they're blowing his brains out, and they just bury him with that thing attached to him. But oddly enough, that thing, like any parasite, well, not all parasites, but some parasites are actually beneficial where they want to keep the host alive.
Symbiotic.
Yes. Yeah,
Symbiont.
symbiotic parasites.
So it grows appendages and it becomes a functional arm for Wildcat. So it's just this weird thing. The facial tattoos have a story too, which goes back to like some alien prison thing where all the prisoners have to lean into this thing where it's actually kind of burned and tattooed in your forehead and on your chin to designate that you are a prisoner.
Okay.
The cybernetic eye is something he acquired over his travels where, it was taken forcefully. Also, originally in the defunct first issue that I drew, Wildcat, for those that watched those videos and saw me working on it and saw me flipping through the pages, toward the end of that book, Wildcat's sleeping in the bed and he's unconscious. His eye comes out and crawls like a spider, goes up to the window's ledge, and it shoots a laser beam that goes straight out into space because when Wildcat came out of the grave, it rebooted and it went into reboot mode. And so it actually was summoning its original, not its creator, but it's to whom it belongs. And so in far distant space, way beyond past our solar system, there's this robotic skeleton entity that's, it's metallic machine, and it's missing an eye, and it gets awoken. And roughly, it as it's awoken, it knows the location of where that eye is at, and now it's heading toward Earth. And there's like less than 100 days it's going to take from interstellar space to our solar system to go to Earth, where Wildcat and this machine thing called Kronos are going to have a showdown.
Oh yeah.
And so that's kind of like the thing with the eye. The razor sharp claws, that's kind of like, he's always been like that. But his origin is kind of like a mixture between some religious stuff and also some alien stuff, but everything's kind of convoluted, and anybody that's listening right now, it's like, that's all crazy. You can't have all that in one character.
Well, why not?
Who says that?
Well, listen, folks, you have to trust me on this. Like, I'm not going to dump it all on all onions in one page or in one book. This is a series of books, little by little. I'm a fan of Wolverine, where back in the 90s, you didn't know who he was, but, every 5-10 issues, you'd learn something new about him. Or from the Marvel Comics Presents Weapon X, you learn a few things in there. You learn a few things from the spinoff books and also from X-Men and Uncanny X-Men about Wolverine and his origins. Well, Wildcat's kind of similar in that regard, but he's a much more darker character. But he's got a good heart, and he's done things in his past that he regrets. And now that his memories are gone, he's often encountering people that he doesn't know if they're friend or foe until they start to try to kill him. Then he kind of figures it out. And some of these people that might be trying to kill him, are awful people, and some of them are good people. It's been scorned by him. That's out for revenge. He just never knows. He got his name Wildcat because at one point he was working for an organization where he was referred to as Agent Wildcat. So that was his code name. So often these people that are hunting him down, they know him as Agent Wildcat. But his street name, since he came out of the grave and he's in a small town in Appalachia, people refer to him as Lazarus. And his friend, the Fox, who's always wearing a fox hoodie, that's her nickname.
And what does she say?
She calls him Dean.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a "what does the fox say" joke, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
So that's kind of like Wildcat shtick. I I mean, there's more to it than that. I'd be happy to answer anything else that anybody wants to know about him.
Okay. Chief says, sounds like Jack Kirby Fourth World Weirdness.
Oh yeah,
Says Keith Parker.
once I get to Dead Man Walking, Wildcat Dead Man Walking after the anthology,
Mhm.
I mean, there's going to be mysterious staircases in the woods that go to nowhere, but they open up the portals to different dimensions and
Yeah.
places of weirdness. And there's a haunted forest where these things, they're I can't even remember the word, but they say something like doogie. I can't remember what it is. I know what the word means. It actually means something, and that's what people call them. And there's these not space, but these forest ghosts, and they can get into logs and trees and limbs and become physical entities, and all they want to do is eat meat. And so when you enter the part of the forest that's really silent, that's because all the insects and animals are dead. They've been consumed. But there's weird stuff that goes on in this town. That's just like the tip of the iceberg.
Okay, cool. Chief says, are you bringing any Appalachian foxtail stuff into it? Which I'm not sure what that is.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to put Appalachian Magic in it and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Lots of Lovecraftian things, and I don't know if people's heard of Appalachian Magic, but a lot of it comes from Europe, where
Okay.
Germans and the Irish, the English, and a couple other folks that settled in the Appalachians from Virginia to Tennessee and some parts of Kentucky and on up. They brought with them their traditions, and they morphed into something else. So it's a mix between Christianity and paganism. So, like one thing of Appalachian Magic is, I'm trying to remember. Like, well, for example, when I was a child, I got really bad sick for like a year and a half. So someone told my mother to take a certain tree limb from a certain tree and cut that tree limb, and then place it over the doorway of the house and leave it there forever. And then after that, my health improved. There's other things where you can take a nail made of iron, and you go and you drive it into, I think, an oak tree maybe, and you recite a Bible verse, and then you say what you want. I know in some places in Appalachia, depending on what state, there was people that were accused of being witches, and so people were paranoid not to leave hairbrushes and things laying around because your neighbor could take that and use that against you, and all kinds of crazy wackadoodle stuff. It's just really, it's fascinating,
That's pretty interesting. In the Hispanic culture here, there is a little bit of that as well.
Yeah.
Curandera.
Is it mixed?
It is a mixed with a little bit of Christian and some occultish stuff.
Yeah.
So like one of the things growing up for myself, and like, oh, you're sick, you have a bad spirit, so they'll grab an egg out of the refrigerator and like rub it on you, and it absorbs the evil, whatever they do. Like put that egg in a bag and go somewhere, and you throw it so people won't get it, and like it's supposed to like suck out the wickedness out of you.
I need to do that every day.
Well, now I just pray. Like I don't.
Yeah.
And we do have some people here. Jonathan Boring is in the chat. It says Anna is back.
Yo,
yes, she is.
Good to see you around.
So now that Jonathan brings that up, this is what Anna was saying earlier, that sometimes like the just live stuff and all the different time zone stuff, it
Mhm.
keeps Anna from coming on the show. So that was a part of the reason we weren't streaming, because I wanted to kind of stream with alongside Anna, because I think we just have a better rapport when we're streaming and stuff. But we decided that it would be better for Anna if like maybe we just limit her to once a month. Now, if she wants to come on again, if she's
Yeah,
able to,
sooner than
of
that's like
course.
optional. We'll see.
Yeah. So there will be times where she won't be on, but that will be why, because it's just life stuff, and it's easier to say it now than say every single time. Well, where's Anna? Where's Anna? Like, just boom. It's fine. Like it's in her contract.
Have a contract?
Do we? I think we need to go over the contract. I don't think we have. We don't have one. Let's see. I'm from southern Indiana, so not far from the Appalachians. So, oh, okay. Mainly jackalopes and snipes around here.
Oh yeah, we got those
Or
too, all over.
And the Sideburns is in the chat now. We're talking about the Wildcat. In the anthology, Sideburns did a story
Yeah.
for
Yes, he did.
and he was on Jeff's show last night. So if you guys want to go watch that, it's on Jeff Lafferty's YouTube channel. And Sideburns was he was the guest. So.
Yeah, he did. He is the anthology master.
He is.
I mean, he has done a lot of anthology stuff. I'm envious.
I think I have.
Yeah.
I have one of the anthologies that he's in. I think this is the second anthology that he was in, and his story is the first story. It's a Christmas story.
It's number one.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Like when we're looking at the Indiegogo, right off the bat, when we saw the pages, like that's Sideburns' story. That's Sideburns' art. He has a distinct style.
Mm-hmm.
That you're like,
yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
I know who drew that. And,
yeah, he on the anthology he did like 13 pages. Like I told everybody, to do a minimum of 8 pages, but that if they could do more, that's awesome. The more the merrier, And he's like, all right, I'll do 13. He was an overachiever, and I love it. He was a beast. He truly is the anthology master. But yeah, he's one of the contributors to the Wildcat Anthology, and just like the show,
a wildcat in his own right.
Yeah, and he's done a lot of the 9-volt stuff that you've shown, and I think he's what is the book that he's doing right now?
He's doing Duckling Star.
Duckling Star. That's it. For some reason, I was wanting to use the word dark, like dark duckling.
Darkling Star, the alter ego.
Darkling Star.
Yeah.
And that story was in the manga edition of the 9-volt. And again, I think it was the first story. And his character was the cover centerpiece.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, so Cyber is really putting his stuff out there. So I don't have links to his stuff, but you can look it up.
Yeah.
Go on Jeff's show. There's links there.
Yeah.
And after the fact, I'll put some links in the comments. But yeah.
Yeah, Sideburns is in the chat. He can tell us where to go too if we want to find his stuff.
Right on.
Oh yeah. Sideburns, are you a mod? Oh yeah. You're a mod, so you can just put the links there. So
yeah.
I think Frank made almost all the regular or just like people around.
Yeah. I even forgot. So Keith's a mod. Sideburns is a mod. Frank Salazar is a mod. Oh, that's me. Yeah.
You made yourself a mod.
Yeah, so I could like do stuff. I got
Yay! I
my
see the
tablet
link.
here.
Yay!
I got my
Yeah.
tablet here, so I'm able to read along the chats and keep an eye on that. So yeah. So let's see. We talked about Wildcat.
Hmm.
Now I've been watching. Oh, you know what? I should probably say this on screen. I know I've said to you like in chats and stuff. When you were first talking about Wildcat, when you were kind of throwing it out there, as a hey, I'm thinking about doing an anthology. It was Cyburns, myself, and I think Ape Sapien were in the chat.
Yeah.
So we were the ones that were like, yeah, I'll be in it. I'll be in it.
Yes.
Um, and I, Frank Salazar, let you down.
It broke my
And
heart.
I'm
Oh,
I have never
no.
been the same since. And
well,
I have put nails in trees and rubbed myself with eggs. You know, you don't want to know the depths that I went.
well, I mean, you say that it actually, it is not a joke. It weighed on me. Uh,
Uh,
so for
Repent,
like
Frank!
for a year, and that's why I'm for so long, and then even afterwards, I was like, man, the anthology looks great. I never did anything
mhm.
for it, so I think I asked you, which now I'm thinking it was kind of unfair of me to ask, but
No.
I said,
No.
is there still a chance to get at least 8 pages in? I know you said like, yeah, but you kind of have to like make up some new pages. So
Mhm.
I did start a story, and I do have the first page uh, complete, and I'm actually thumbnailing the second page. And it is a mixture. So even like don't you're not obligated, but like even if it doesn't get in, I will still finish it,
Mhm.
make it, print it out, and send it to you, so at least you have a copy. And it is a crossover story with Captain Courage and
Awesome.
Wildcat.
Well, if you get it finished before it goes to print, I'll cram it in the back. I'll just throw it back there.
Yeah. You don't even have to like put. I know you were doing like those little pages to introduce it. You can be like,
Yeah.
oh, and there's this thing here, and then just that's fine.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I would do. It's like I cannot draw any more pages. I've gave out. The anthologies whoop me. It's like right now, what I'm working on the anthology is like 75% done. For those that are wondering, I mean, like most of the contributions are in. I've done like 32 pages for it. 8 of those pages was with a fantastic writer by the name of B.W. Sims.
Mm,
And he did the cybernetic polar bear story, which is
cool.
really awesome. And you know, he really gets the nature and the vibe of Wildcat, and he's got it nailed down pat perfectly. Um,
Mhm.
but anyway, like, but 32 pages total that I've done, and what I'm doing right now, which I haven't done in the last week or two, I gotta confess,
Wait, did
I've
you say
been
32 pages?
yeah.
That is exactly the amount of pages in this comic, which you can get in the link below on my Etsy store. 32 pages, including covers. Tell us more about the anthology.
Well, the 32 pages that I did of the 80-page plus anthology, um, about 20 of those is
It's a lot of pages.
introducing everyone else's stories. So as Dr. Terror is torturing Wildcat for the location of the mysterious as Connie Shigorn, this thing that makes the impossible possible, the improbable probable, and everything in between, and everything not in between. Um, he's not even bothering to ask him questions because apparently in this dreamlike world, Wildcat's been there many times, and so he just skips the questions, and it's all about trying to drill into his head and hook up to his cybernetic eye. And every time Wildcat dreams or passes out, hallucinates,
Reading this,
fantasizes, daydreams, any of that stuff, we're introduced to another story by different contributors of the anthology. So I drew all those pages that connects everything together.
Yeah.
I did an extra 10 to 12 pages of a chainsaw ninjas that are chasing Wildcat.
We've been
Introducing
hearing
Fish
about
Boy.
that, so that
Yeah,
we're excited to see that. I know Anna was excited when she heard about that.
yeah. I really like the chainsaw ninjas. You know, they're basically
Yes.
they are Yakuza members. And basically, they screw up. When you screw up so bad in this type of Yakuza clan, what they do is your second chance is to become a chainsaw ninja. So you don these big, bright, colored outfits that are yellow and orange, and that's on purpose. You're supposed to stand out. And instead of giving you silent weapons, you have to use a chainsaw, the most noisiest,
Doom.
impractical, murdering instrument known to man. And you're sent on these missions that are suicide missions. So you're not really expected to come back. But if you come back and you accomplish your kill, you are redeemed in the eyes of the Yakuza. But should you come back and you fail to eliminate your target, you have to do seppuku and commit ritual suicide.
Yep.
And but like the whole thing with the chainsaw ninjas, they're being led by this one guy who's Tom Selleck Samurai. He basically Wildcat fooled around with his woman, and he's angry about it. And so he's going to take on Wildcat and try to do away with him. But unfortunately, for both of them, Fish Boy shows up to intervene. So there's that story.
Yeah.
I've also got there was something else in there I was trying to remember. Oh, I'm working on whimsical ads to put in the book.
Yes, I remember that was one of the things you wanted to do.
One example is, from in the 60s, there used to be this ad that would be in a lot of comic books, and it was called Hey Skinny. And it was a comic book ad, sequential story, where this guy and his girl are walking on the beach, and this dude shows up and just beats up the skinny guy and takes his girl.
Mm-hmm.
And so the skinny guy is upset, and he goes home. He kicks a table or something, and he's like, "Well, I guess it's Charles Atlas. I think that's his name." He's like, "I'm going to get Charles Atlas' book, and I'm going to get muscles, and I'm going to go back and defend my honor." And so that's what he does. He reads Charles Atlas' book. He gets toned. He gets fit. He gets muscular. He goes back, and then he takes on that guy and beats him up, and then all the girls like him now. So I took that ad and I tinkered with it, and so now the skinny guy shows up, and Wildcat is the bully, and he's like, "Hey, buddy, that's a nice looking girl you got there, And so Joe doesn't like it, and then Wildcat beats up Joe. Joe goes and gets some synthol put in his body. He doesn't even read a book or lift weights. He just takes synthol to inject it, make it look like he's got muscles. And then Wildcat just beats him up and keeps the girl. So yeah. So I'm doing like ads like that where I'm retrofitting them to stuff. I may even have like Wildcat beer, just stuff that's kind of funny. I like to put some real ads in it though, where I contact people on Etsy that's got like some horror stuff and things like that, and do like retro ads that you saw in the 60s and the 70s and 80s from Marvel and DC, and also from like Eerie and Creepy magazine, a lot of stuff like that. So that's a lot of work, and I'm still trying to letter this turd. Oh man. So as I'm looking at stuff, I'm staring at the pages, and I'm waiting for it to come to me. Like, okay, what's Dr. Terror saying here? Well, he already said that. What's he going to say different now? And then then I'm typing it up and placing the word balloons, and so yeah, a lot of work.
Cool. Speaking of ads, we actually have a sponsor from
Ooh.
Turaco Cola. You rock, we rock, two rock, we all rock. So if you click on that, it's going to take you to Jim Luhan's YouTube channel.
Yeah, go check
And
Jim Luhan out.
and his latest film, Sugar Machine, there is a Turaco Cola drawn in there. So that's a little shout out to the Turaco Creative Cast. So go check that out, guys. And Jim, if you're wondering why I have that thumbnail as a puppet and why it's my little avatar, that is a doll that Jim had, and I told him that looks a lot like me, and I kept
It
kind of messing
does.
around with it. So he added goggles, added a headset. He sent it to me yesterday, and he's like, "You can use it whatever you want." I was like, "I'm gonna use it right now." so that's why I did. That's why that's there. People are wondering like why there's a puppet, puppet Frank.
So what does that cola taste like?
Tastes
How would
like
you
pure
describe it?
Turaco goodness
Mmm.
and sugar
Like
water.
that. Oh, you know what? I have a
We don't actually have a sponsor, but
yeah.
my tip jar is right there. So if you want to help support, you
You
know what?
come
This is what
prepared.
I'll do. If someone wants to uh, donate to my tip jar right now while we're on, whatever is there, I will send that to CB or I'll use it to back another book for Wildcat. So that I'm not joking. Like if you want to donate anything, send it to this. I'll send that over to CB. Which is better if I just send it directly to you or just back another book or put it in the contributors. But
Well, if you want, just back the book. Be the best way. So
well, yeah,
that way I don't touch any of the
right.
money. Indiegogo holds it, and so
That's
if the
true.
book, flops like a dead fish and then gets flies, that way you get all your money back, and it's all square. Works out great that way.
That's right.
Yeah. I was wondering, we was talking about cola a while ago. Like,
Mm-hmm.
people have a different way of saying that they want pop. Where I'm from, everybody's like, when you go to a grocery store, go get some pop. What kind of
Yeah.
pop you want? But every people all across the United States, they say it differently, though. I mean, like,
There's
some
pop,
people say soda.
cola, soda.
Yeah. Yeah. And some people go soda pop.
Yeah,
Oh,
they do.
so the Yins just say pop, or do Yins go by something different?
I
Never
know
thought about that
here.
before.
Consumable, fizzy, aquatic
Hmm.
substance. I don't know. Soda, I guess. I think.
Okay, so Anna says soda.
But not everyone in my family says the same thing. My sister says
We
pop.
actually,
My brother says cola, even if it's like Pepsi. And
yeah, that I was gonna say like we
yeah.
do that here. We'll call it Coke, and like, oh,
Mhm.
what kind? Well, give me Pepsi. Yeah, so
So
so it's like,
it's all Coke until
My
it's
mom
not.
said
Yeah,
Coke earlier today
yeah,
too, but then my
yeah.
brother said cola. Like he was
yeah.
trying to
It
correct
it
her.
interchanges Coke, cola, and also what do we do? I do say a lot, and my family says a lot. Soda in Spanish, which is soda. Like, I mean, give me a soda.
See, I like stuff
So
like
yeah,
that. I like
soda or
how
Coke. That's the common thing. It might be a Texan thing. Or, I don't know.
I like that.
Oh,
Like
Keith says it.
across the country, like different dialects.
Mm-hmm.
Go from state to state and stuff like that, and or different pronunciations, enunciations. That's kind of what I mean. It's
Yeah,
interesting. I think around here, the way some people talk is we take out as many syllables and vowels as possible, and we make everything shorter. Instead of soda pop, it's just pop. You know, like my friend Will Avenger. His first name is, how do I pronounce it? How do I do it proper? William. William.
William.
But
William.
the way I always say it is WEE young. We young.
Hey.
But I don't know. I always think
Sketchy
stuff like
edits.
this. It's interesting, you know, how people pronounce things and all those little subtleties.
Yeah, definitely.
Got a few people in the chats. And Keith says it's the same thing with tissues. It's Kleenex. So, and also Band-Aids. I think
Which
it's
is
like
interesting
Band-Aid
because
is like an adhesive tape thing. So I don't know what.
I
like,
thought
you would
BandAid
call it,
was a
but
brand name, maybe, but Kleenex
yeah,
is a brand name.
Band-Aid is a brand. Yeah, that's what Keith is talking about. How we use brand names to call like Coke.
It's Band-Aids here too. Band-Aids.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter what brand. It's Band-Aid, but
bandages.
I think it's like adhesive something. That's what those strips are.
Maybe
I
in
have an adhesive wound dressing.
Maybe in New York they call it sticky adhesive bandage.
Yeah, like I don't know what you would call it before Band-Aid was a brand. So you know, honey, hand me the sticky adhesive bandage for this cut that I got on my soda.
Yeah.
Actually, you can get cut from the soda cans.
Yeah,
my younger brother, he was like smashing it up, and then he twisted it, and it's...
Yeah, I think
don't do that. Don't ever do that.
Or you, Sketchy, how many accounts do you have? You're here like in 3 different accounts. Sketchy is
62.
like driving up the views. I don't know where he learns this stuff from.
Also, hey Landon Huber?
Yeah, Landon Huber. Landon Huber is in the chats. We got Gibran Redinger, sorry, my bad. Get me that Band-Aids and the monkey blood. Oh yeah. That was something that we had too. It's like this kind of almost like like the Vicks Vapor Rub thing, but it's like this medical thing, and it's this like dip that you put on wounds and stuff. And it was called here it was called sangre de chango, which is monkey blood. So that was common when I was growing up. It was like this yellow container. I think I think Gib will verify that. But I think there was like a picture of a monkey. But yeah, it was called Sangre de Chango. So,
wow, that's pretty cool. I like that.
I wouldn't have guessed.
See, I thought Gil was making a half joke, but it was true. It's true.
Yeah, no. Both Gib and I are from Texas, so different sections. But
yeah.
Actually, and I think Jonathan Boring, who was here earlier, he's in Texas now, so he's actually closer to Gib. I don't want to dox Gib, but you know. But here's his coordinates.
You're not gonna dox him.
I'm not gonna dox him, but here's his address.
I picture somebody.
That's
you know, somebody in a pickup truck and get those coordinates. Like, I always want to know where he was at.
I'm making that a sound bite. I guess I missed something.
And nice to meet you too, Landon. A sound bite.
Yes, Landon. It is nice to meet you. I'm not sure what sound bite Keith was talking about. So let's see what else. I don't ask the same old questions that everyone's been asking. So And so, is that Turaco Cola?
It is refreshing.
If it's on the Turaco Creative Cast, is it Turaco Cola?
I can't show the label for copyright reasons, but yes, it is Turaco Cola. It's
You've been demonetized.
after I took the first couple of
By
sips,
us.
it became my new favorite beverage. You know.
Which that's something I want to like print out a fake label and put it like on a soda can and Turaco Cola.
You know, I've honestly thought about doing that. You know, like I had this wild hair, and it's still in me to do it. You know, where take a can or a bottle, fill it with tap water, and put a label on it. There's this water company from Austria. Austria.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a you can do that with certain companies. You can just put your label on their product.
Yeah,
and I've seen it like people do it like in birthday parties. So like it's like the person who's having the birthday, like it'll have his picture and his name, and so and it's just like bottled water.
There is an Austrian company that makes death metal water. And it is the most awesome looking cans with skulls and stuff. And I got my first chance to drink this death metal water the other day. And it is the nastiest water I've ever drunk in my life. You know, it truly is death metal. It'll bring you to an early grave. I don't know where it's set in Austria for so long. It's just I didn't know water could sour, but it did. It was awful water, but it gave me the idea. Like that's a killer looking can. That's the whole reason I bought that water, just because the can looked awesome. It's like I could just come up with a killer label, slap it on a bottle of tap water, and the way I was going to market it as like one of those old tonics like they used to do back in the day, a cure-all. Well, mine was going to be like, do you got diabetes? Well, I got the cure-all. Something another. Dr. Smallwood's blah 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 blah. Diabetes go away. Drink 2 whole bottles of this, and it will lower your sugar as much as 40 points, which will be true. It does.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you did enough research and you did the numbers, you'd be able to make accurate, ridiculous claims.
Well, that is actually what I've been doing to stay healthy. I've been drinking a jug. I drink a 3-liter jug of Seaforce water, Chuck Norris water. I drink it
stay healthy.
Every day.
Drink water. Drink water every day. That way you can stay healthy.
Well, when you have bad sugar problems, the great thing about water, it's crazy. You don't think it would work. But for most people, it depends on the severity of your sugar problems, okay? But if you got mild to somewhat serious sugar problems, you can go drink you a bottle of water, 2 bottles of water, and you can go from having sugar that's up in the 200s and bring it down to anywhere from like 160 to 130, And the reason it works is your body takes all that water and it takes all that sugar that's in your body and you just pee it out. Just pee it away.
I can vouch for that.
Yeah.
Because I have hypoglycemia.
And so it's weird. It's this. I feel like it shouldn't work, because it's just water. But that water can do that, So
it filters out your system. I could also verify that as well.
Yeah.
So, well, I was gonna ask on your channel, since you do these like conspiracy and creepypasta things. Do you have any conspiracies you can hash out?
Dinosaurs.
Okay. Conspiracies.
Live stream, Becky. Oops. Just walk in here singing.
Have Becky come on and say hi.
Hi.
Hey, Becky.
Hello.
Hold on.
Hi.
I'm going to meet my friend.
Here, hang on.
Hey, Becky.
I was coming to return your marine biology book.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, that's cool.
Here,
Nice.
put this on for a second. If I can get my thumb drive off of it.
I know Marines were expert in biology.
There you go.
Is there an Army biology book?
Okay.
Page 6.
Now we look related?
Now we look
There,
related.
there we go.
Very
I think I have
cool.
a crooked ear.
Wait.
Okay.
It's very important.
So.
We're talking about the importance of water.
Oh, I love the dino. I'm so glad you got that.
Yeah, me too.
That was like your favorite souvenir.
Okay, so I don't know. My train of thought just went spaghetti, so you guys were going to talk about conspiracy theories, I think.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
So I guess my
Thank you.
question is,
You're
you know,
welcome.
I
Thank you.
have conspiracy
You're
theories,
welcome.
but the ends want happy conspiracy or dark conspiracy.
How dark are we talking?
This is CB. It can get pretty dark.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, society's changed a lot, so it might not be that dark.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go with the.
We'll go that route.
Yeah.
We'll go down
Oh,
that
no.
rabbit hole.
Let's do it.
Now I'm
We
still
can talk
learning
about
a
your
lot
dog
about it.
as well if you want.
I don't know. I'm second guessing myself. I may not want to go down this
Do you
rabbit
have one about dinosaurs?
dinosaurs.
Loch Ness Monster. Thoughts?
Well, okay, Loch Ness Monster. My thoughts on that is I'm disappointed. Loch Ness Monster's let me down the last 20 years. I don't know what his deal is. He's become
I get
camera's
that.
child all of a sudden. A lot of people theorized for the longest time that it was a plesiosaur.
Mm-hmm.
But then it comes a question of like how can a population of plesiosaurs exist in the lake? For one reason, that the lake was never once connected to the ocean, and
Okay.
you know, the lake was created during the Ice Age when you know, as the ice came in, it carved grooves into the ground, and as the ice receded, as the planet warmed, that's what created Lake Loch Ness.
Mm-hmm.
And so a prehistoric animal you would not, you know, or ancestors of prehistoric animals you would not find in that lake. So you know, my theory is if there is a species of plesiosaurs that are in existence, that they would probably be in the ocean. And the only reason you would find them in lakes would be for mating reasons, because it would be a safe area for them to lay their eggs, or maybe, or if they had live young or something.
I think they had live young.
And
Actually, a lot of marine reptiles have live young,
mhm.
including many marine snakes.
So that's my theory. I know they got unexplored water caves in Loch Ness, but as the years went by, I'm convinced that more than likely that there's probably just large sturgeon, which is a big ugly fish.
They're so cool, though.
Yeah, that's mistaken for the monster, and also you know, just normal wind that creates like these humping waves in the water. There's logs that mysteriously, because of their buoyancy and they have their water logs, will do weird stuff in the water. But it's always possible. I mean, you know, crocodiles and alligators are actually dinosaurs, you know, non-avian dinosaurs. They were around during the time of the dinosaurs. They survived all the way up to now, when we're assuming an asteroid or asteroids hit the Earth and blotted out the sun. It slowly killed a lot of vegetation. So henceforth, it killed a lot of plant eaters, and then the meat eaters didn't have nothing to eat. But the nature of alligators and crocodiles, I'm not for sure, but I think they're like burrowing animals, and so they can go a long time without food. And so that's the only reason we have crocodiles and alligators around today, is because of that. I'm not so sure why sharks that's been around from the time of the dinosaurs are, you know, still around when many other types of fish went extinct. But
well, it's very likely that there was a region around the equator that was spared from the most brutal portions of the Ice Age.
yeah,
So
but it's possible there could be plesiosaurs. I mean, the ocean's a big place. I don't see why not. I could just picture them being more of a deep sea type of animal, hence of their long necks. And I just imagine that they would burrow down in the dirt to hunt for prey, to find fish that hide in the dirt. And that's the reason they have the long necks and stuff like that. It's just to dig down deep to get them. And I don't know if there's a type of animal that would have to eat rocks because some animals will eat rocks,
Right.
to kind of sink down lower. But
Gastroliths.
at some point, they would go up to get air, but we wouldn't know the frequency of that, But I don't know. I think it's possible, but I think if there are any dinosaurs, I have two answers to that. One is probably the Congo, somewhere in Africa. It might be possible. Some people think that there's a brontosaurus that live there. I could picture that, but I would tell people that these are not going to be the same type of dinosaurs that you saw in the prehistoric times, because they've evolved, they've changed.
That you saw in the prehistoric times. Oh, how long you been around, CB?
Well, I kind of outed
Since the
myself.
prehistoric times.
Listen, I can't help it. I have a time traveling machine. It's not my fault that it crashed in my backyard, and I've been using it for decades. I mean, maybe I might get lucky and have one crash, but I've been very responsible. I could have stepped on an insect or a frog and then killed somebody's ancestor, but no. I just look around and take pictures like a responsible person. I didn't interfere with Kennedy. I just let that roll out. Yeah.
No, not Kennedy, but that is interesting what you're talking about dinosaurs, because I've heard that too, and that's something that I believed as a kid. There's actually a movie, I think it was a Baby Legend of the Lost or Secret of the Lost.
That's awesome. That is one of the best dinosaur movies ever made.
When I saw it as a kid, and I always believed that was a real dinosaur. And I forget the name. I know someone would know it, but it is the one you're talking about. That
people always think about. People always think about Jurassic Park, but they forget that awesome '80s movie. Because
that was great. And they had Cat Williams, Greatest American Hero.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that is right. My memories are coming back. It seemed like at the beginning of the movie, I think people can watch it for free on YouTube. Just look it up on there, or on Odyssey. It's probably on Odyssey or BitChute. If you can get through the hardcore stuff. But like they discovered footprints and stuff like that. But like, this footprint's millions of years old, but this one looks fresh. And so they start looking into it, and then they find the big giant brontosaurus, which is not a real animal apparently, but it is and is not.
It was a combination of multiple sauropods.
Yeah.
Like a brachiosaur and a patasaur or something like that.
Yeah, I think they put the head of a patasaur in a brachiosaur body, and then they think, no, it wasn't this. But yeah, it's very a brachiosaur.
This kitty.
A sauropod.
Loki.
Now, that is something that we've actually talked about off panel, like up to when did dinosaurs actually coexist? Because there is an old ancient book where there is dinosaurs described. You might know it as the Holy Bible or the Bible in the Book of Job. It does describe what sounds to be a Brachiosaurus, the behemoth, and Leviathan does sound like. Anna, you want to take this one? I know you.
Oh, like some kind of a sauropod. It really gets me because the some of the modern explorer Bibles and stuff, like one that I grew up with, it describes the tail like a cedar, but then it shows a sketch of a hippopotamus. I'm like, okay, something there's a little disconnect.
There is gosh, I wish I can remember it offhand, but what do you call
Mary.
those books that did not make the Bible?
Oh, the
Apocryphal?
apocryphal
Yes,
books.
in one of the Apocrypha, I don't know which one it was, but basically there was these priests, and they had a dragon, and they fed this dragon and all this other stuff, and one of the
Yes,
prophets
I
of
know what you're
God
talking about.
basically fed the dragon, and it just choked to death or something like that. I can't remember,
It
but
was
Yeah.
Daniel,
but I
if
believe
I remember correctly.
that dragons were real, and my
Yeah.
argument for it is that they were actually dinosaurs, and we just hunted them to extinction.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I'm writing a thesis about all of this, by the way.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes.
but
Studying
Yeah,
lots
just so
of
you know,
ancient stuff.
this is something that Anna and I have discussed, and Anna shared some of this prior to me, and it's stuff that I agree with. So it's
very cool. You know, well, I think, you know, we as humans, I mean, like, you know, people will be like, you know, this mythological creature couldn't exist or that or whatever, and it's like, well, how do you know? I mean, like, you know, freaking apes and pandas were mythological at one point. You know, nobody believed that they existed until, you know, we found them. And the thing is, you know, with you know, recorded history, almost every culture refers to dragons, and so it seems like it's a distant memory in various human civilizations of these animals. And
all the major continents.
the biggest piece of evidence, you know, people say like, CB, you're a conspiracy theorist, and I would say, your mind is closed, you need to open it. But in Australia, okay, there used to be giant Komodo lizards. Now,
yes,
when I say giant, I don't mean like a dog. No, I mean like a car.
Yep.
Freaking lizards that were as big as a car.
Oh.
And, you know, Australia used to be lush and green.
Okay.
Very, very lush and green. And the Aborigines hated these freaking lizards. I mean, if you've seen like how Komodo lizards are, the small ones there, you know, they chase after things. If you get bit by one, the bite kills you because of the bacteria in their mouth, and eventually, you know, you'll slowly, you'll eventually pass away, and then they munch on you.
There's new research going into whether the varanids, the family of monitor lizards that Komodo dragons belong to, several of them have been discovered to actually contain a venom as well that went undetected for a very long time. So it's quite possible they'll further the research that Komodo dragons may have venom as well.
Well, circling back to that point here in a minute, the giant car-size Komodo dragons in the prehistory of Australia, the Aborigines got sick of them. So what they did is they lit that continent on fire. They caused all these brush fires to kill the giant lizards, and they killed them all.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that was another hypothetical dinosaur that probably survived the time of, you know, the dinosaurs made it all the way up to now, because more than likely I don't know much about Komodo dragons or their giant cousins that's about the size of a car, but I would imagine they probably do the same thing as crocodiles and alligators can go a long time without food and stuff. And but that makes me think about the Congo. When we go back to the Congo, to the earliest reports to Westerners going to the continent and exploring it, I remember there was this Arthur C. Clarke documentary where they were showing this book and like having people point like, oh yes, this was you know, brontosaurus. Yeah. That thing showed up in our camp, and it was hissing at us, and so we stabbed it and killed it. And we ate the meat, and then we all got sick. And it makes me think, like, what if a brontosaurus or a brontosaurus ancestor, descendant.
Yeah.
It's similar to a Komodo dragon where it's eating dead carcasses and
Okay.
has that bacteria, and then you're eating that meat and you're not properly cooking it, and it's causing you to get sick. But the only thing, but my skepticism with that is, in the time since that, it's become like a little industry thing, like a little tourism bit. And so I think the locals in that part of Africa, when these crazy white men go down there looking for dinosaurs, these white guys think like that they don't have TV or satellite or something. I don't know. But, I think they're like, oh, yeah, we'll take you hunting for dinosaurs. And their buddies are up the river throwing logs in there. Oh, did you see it? Oh, it's huge.
Yeah, they love to mess with people.
And so, they make money off of it. It's a big thing. And it makes the Westerners happy. So it kind of hurts the credibility. I mean, I think there could be a dinosaur or dinosaur descendants in Africa. That would be the best place to look, or in the deep oceans. But the only confirmed things is stuff that we've wiped out in early human history because it was just a nuisance, and the things that are alive today in Florida, like freaking alligators and that type of thing.
And South America. That's another one. That's where the Ropin is, I believe.
And Larry says, it's a scripture, and that's what we were saying earlier. Revelations 12:9, and also in Job. And that's what we were talking about earlier.
Leviathan and Behemoth.
And the Behemoth. And Leviathan, I think Anna was saying, could be a type of Spinosaurus.
Oh yeah, I have a hypothesis on that too. It's complicated. Oh.
Yeah, well, that's what I was cueing you to, and then you were talking about the Behemoth. So like, oh.
I don't
know. I don't know if you want. We did go over the hour. I'm cool with going a little bit over if you're okay. CB and Anna, it's
I'm good.
You guys.
I'm cool with whatever.
Okay, so we can continue talking about dinosaurs.
I just like dinosaurs.
Do you want to talk, Anna? Do you want to share your hypothesis about the Spinosaurus?
Yeah, share your hypothesis.
Okay. All right. One of these days, and I've actually been holding back a little bit in talking about a series of these things because I'm kind of collecting my data. That way I can have like a presentation and be like, check this ancient artifact out and blah, blah, blah,
That's
blah,
why
blah.
I wasn't sure because I know you are working on this.
But yeah.
You want to share.
Spinosaurs, like there's more to it too because I have some more research regarding Boronyx and the Spinosauridae group.
Dinosaur here, by the way.
ADHD. Now I'm going in the wrong direction. So Spinosaur recently was confirmed to have a fin-like tail at the end of it. There's a whole series of extra bones that go off the vertebrae, making it more fin-like, which leans more into it living a much more aquatic or semi-aquatic lifestyle, which is something that I was wondering about for the longest time. I actually was very recently, was within the last few years, I have a model here that has the old style of Spinosaur, and when I would draw the Spinosaur, I often would lean more towards crocodilian, I guess. The tails of crocodiles have a...
Well, before you go further into it, I just want to add that makes me think of monkeys. Because if we were to take a monkey skeleton of like a baboon, and like say like nobody's never seen a baboon before, and you say, okay, what did this animal look like with skin? And it's like an entirely different animal somebody would come up with. You don't think of the big red butt and all this other stuff. So as you're telling me about Stegosaurus,
Spinosaurus.
Spinosaurus. It's like, Well, that's interesting, because I can see that now. Yeah, but go ahead.
Actually, I have a. He's all the way up there. Actually, let me grab him, just because.
She actually has a living specimen.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Very cool.
Let me
absolutely.
go get him. He's over there.
Okay, so I'll grab that too. I got a little collection up there. It's just kind of personal things, like skulls of alligators and whatnot.
Yeah.
But this, and I actually have like 3 skulls up there. This
Okay.
is a model. It's like the PNSO something, I forget, but that's a brand name. So I don't know if I can get it to focus, but it's the updated model that has the cool fin on the tail.
Mm-hmm.
Now I gotta remember where I was going with this. Oh, okay. So, notch in the back right here. There is a petroglyph in the UK, and I think it might be Welsh, but it's an ancient one, and it's in a cave, and it's got this body shape. It's quadruped, instead of the old view that we used to very often have models or designs of a Spinosaur with a T-Rex style tail, standing on its back legs, upright, hunched forward. Well, this petroglyph has it quadruped. It's got this sail-like thing, which a lot of people assume is the wings. Oh, and it's nicknamed Puff the Magic Dragon. And then it's got this long kind of head with big jaw kind of things, which I find interesting too, because there's actually a bit of a notch shape, which probably that helped with them hanging on to fish. But it has a little burst of like something, some kind of breath thing. Maybe it's from the nose, who knows? Maybe it's fire, who knows? But I thought it was interesting because going back to, say, the Leviathan, that's described as, sparks coming forth from its mouth, but then also it plays in the seas, and yeah, it's just there's other details that I want to pull together, but I want to have them on like notes and stuff.
Well, I have 2 quick thoughts
My
on
brain's
that.
like,
The spine on its back, the big
Yeah.
fin on its back. That looks like it could have been something to regulate body temperature because there were probably warm-blooded and cold-blooded dinosaurs.
Yep.
So maybe that could have been more of a cold-blooded, kind of crocodile-ish ancestor. And the heat from the sun, warms that back fin up and keeps him warm. But,
Actually, it might be the inverse because it's hypothesized that stegosaurs, for example, have the fins in order, because what happens is a kind of it acts as a heat sink, and so the heat radiates up and leaves the body through the thin formation, as opposed to being, it could work both ways, but a large animal like this, and I don't know if I lean towards them breathing fire. I feel like there's mechanisms at play that we don't understand because all we see are the skeletons.
Yeah.
But even if they did, I would still lean probably towards warm-blooded. These things were ridiculously huge, though. I mean, they just barely outdid the T-Rex. So, and there's some pretty good hypotheses going now that the T-Rex was also a warm-blooded thing.
The Bible verse, the sparks of fire, in the Western accounts of fire-breathing dragons, it makes me think of Greek fire. I mean, all right. So the Greeks, for those that don't know, they had this recipe that's been lost to history, and basically on their battleships, they would spray this liquid, and when this liquid would hit the water, it would catch fire. It would just combust. So you didn't have to light it with a match or nothing. It would just catch fire. And one of the things that they leave out when they talk about Greek fire is on their ships, they would have these sculptures of dragon heads. and that liquid would shoot out the dragon head.
Yep.
And so is a very terrifying thing to see if you was on the receiving end of it. You know, this dragon head shooting this liquid out and it's catching fire, and you know, it's like, where did the Greeks get the idea of a dragon that breathes fire? You know, where's the inspiration from that come from? Is it just purely imagination, or is it something, you know, historical that's lost? And I don't know. I'm not too terribly tied up on the idea of whether or not dragons could breathe fire. I'm either or on that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm open-minded about it too, because, you know, you can have snakes that spit venom.
Yep.
You can have different animals that do wacky doodle things. I think isn't there like an
Bombardier beetle?
Yes. Don't he shoot like, is it acid or like fire?
I think it's like a boiling acid kind of thing. There's actually a lot of beetles. I've bumped into a few that haven't been identified yet, but a lot of them that will squirt some kind of an acid or an odorous compound. One of them I'm almost certain it sprayed acetic acid, and then another one I'm almost certain it sprayed propanoic acid. And if you know what that is BO and gym socks like scent.
Okay.
Yeah, which was so cool. Nobody else liked it, but it was cool. It was a big black beetle.
Yeah.
Still don't know what it was. It looked like a garden beetle of, you know, that general family, but I'm not sure what it was.
So I don't think it's beyond the beyond reason to say that there wasn't some type of dinosaur that could actually vomit a liquid that could be flammable or acidic, you know.
There's a bird. What is it called?
Oh, a bird that does that.
Oh man, what bird is it? It is a European roller. Okay. It vomits a kind of orangish, very lipid-filled, so it's a oily kind of fluid that it actually can jet for quite a ways. You know, several feet.
And that's a avian dinosaur.
Maybe a couple yards. It's
an avian dinosaur.
How far can it?
Yeah, and you know, recently in somewhere in Asia, I'm going to say China, they discovered a lizard about this long, and it has wings. It has wings.
Oh, Draco lizard?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can actually get those in the pet trade. Like, nowadays there's a few people that are captive breeding them. You know, they're kind of like flying geckos, but instead of having flying geckos, which have webbed, you know, between their toes and webbed sides, the Draco has actual ribs that fold out. And there are some extinct relatives that were fossilized that were much, much larger, essentially Draco ancestors. Cool. And then...
Go ahead.
The Tara, it pretty much looks like a lizard, but it's from New Zealand and it's its own category, which I just think is cool because anything that's a little closer to dinosaur-like is just like, yay.
Yeah. But I was going to say that...
Isn't there a dinosaur that looks like how people think a dragon looks like, Anna?
Is there? Oh, like a...
Rex, I think.
You mean like... I guess I have a stand for it. Put there. Whoop! Like this?
Yes.
Dracorex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, this probably was a juvenile of another. Like it's a hypothesis
outside your.
Oh yeah.
You found that on the ranch, right?
I was digging in the dirt, you know. I was trying to clean the pond up because that's what I did this week. Oh yeah. Also, I got tendinitis. One leg is slightly longer than the other, so that was one of the hurdles this last month. It went away though, hopefully for good. Yeah. That was Achilles tendonitis. Thank goodness I haven't messed up my arm yet. Well, drawing so much.
Well, don't curse yourself yet.
Ah.
No,
that was an Etsy seller. I think they were from Germany.
I think people are dropping out, so this might be a good time to end the show. We're at hour and 30 minutes, and I know we could go on, but I think CB probably has to get dinner and stuff. Anything? Oh, like
I haven't.
Anything you
want
to say before we close out, Anna?
Hi. I really enjoyed being able to come on, catch up a bit, and also talk to CB and hear what his project was about, and see everybody in the chats. I look forward to next time. Yeah, I guess this is the time when we say, like, when we can, or not when we can be found, where we can be found on the internet, I guess.
Yes.
The same places as always.
Start us off, Anna. Let me grab your link.
Because I literally need to remember what my Instagram handle is. I think it's Dream Hatchling Studio now. I changed it. That's why I'm like...
Yes. That is your Instagram there. Anyone, Dream Hatchling Studio. You can find Anna there. You can also go to the link tree.
Cool.
And CB, where can we find you? Oh, sorry, Anna. Did you want to say more? Or sorry, I might cut you off.
I was thinking about dinosaurs still. There's like all this information brewing in my head.
Yeah, I know. Like, I know we could go on, and this is something that I think we've mentioned before. I would like to do an unlisted stream where we just talk about dinosaurs, and that's where you can go more into it. And there's a couple of people that are also dinosaur enthusiasts, like Gary Hodges and Adam Rohr.
Yeah, I was thinking Gary Hodges.
So that would be something that we could do. I think that's 5 people just talk dinosaurs for an hour or more, unlisted. And if we, probably send out invites, or not, but for people can like be in the chats. So that's something people are interested. That's something I would like to set up. Yeah, because I know it's a fascinating topic, and
I know it's not really related, but I've become a plant weirdo.
Oh yeah, now I want to hear about that.
Oh, I don't know. I just always wanted to. You ever have like friends or family that could be like, oh, that's a sycamore, or oh, that's an oak, and
my dad, he's a walking encyclopedia of plants.
Well, I've got into it here lately, and it's like, it's interesting. The thing about the plants is like, you got some people that's like, this, it's a good time to plant this crop at this time of year in this soil and all this other stuff. You have somebody else that's like, oh, this is a good herbal thing, and it's good for this. And then you'll have somebody else that'll be, just like, oh, perennials are pretty this time of year. And then you get the history guy, which is very rare. And I feel like these are all one. I'd love to write a book about plants that has all this stuff together, because it's just fascinating. Mm-hmm. Because, the more I learn, the crazier it is. Like, where I live at, there's these exotic trees that have popped up in the last 15 years. Because I don't remember them from my childhood, but they could have been there. And they're called mimosas. Very beautiful.
Yeah. Yep.
And it turns out mimosas are like from Asia and the Middle East, somewhere over there, maybe Iran, I'm not for sure. And they're called the happiness tree because their bark and their flowers can be used to improve your mood. So they say, but you have to be careful with it, because the wrong mix can, not be so healthy. But what makes it interesting is some guy up North Carolina in the 1800s went and planted the first mimosa in the United States. And so all mimosas come from that one tree. That's crazy. That's insane. Same thing with, when you go look at dandelions, those yellow flowers that grow, those weeds that grow in your driveway. And they have poison things, that you can buy at Walmart, anywhere. It's got the picture of that dandelion on there, to get rid of it and stuff. Well, Europeans,
you can eat them.
Europeans, some of the ancestors of this continent, when they came over, like the Pilgrims and stuff, they brought the seeds with them, and these are not native plants to this country, and they used it for food and medicine, and guys that were sailors used it to treat scurvy when you were low in vitamin C, and so this plant that we see as a pest was once food and medicine to people long ago. Plantain is another one our ancestors brought over, or some of us. And then the Indians or Native Americans, they called it the white man's foot, because everywhere a white man would walk, for some reason, it would just grow. And it's crazy. Cool. Like the history of plants and stuff, and where they trace back to, and the fact that, all these different peoples from different groups brought them here, and I love that stuff. I think it's neat. It's very, very neat.
Stinging nettles too.
Nice.
They've got a good quantity of iron. As for dandelions, I'll just add this quick note. They're good for you. Oftentimes you make tea, but they're high in vitamin A. So if you eat too many of them, it can be hard on your liver.
Oh, and have you heard of poison hemlock?
Okay, so you got to balance up.
Poison hemlock is interesting.
I've heard of it.
Because it's extremely poisonous, and people can mistake it for wild carrot. But what's so cool about it, even though it's a terrible, evil little plant, is that history-wise, Socrates, when he was teaching, and the government didn't like it, and they didn't want him to teach his teachings to the youth anymore, and he refused, and he was sentenced to death, they fed him, I guess, a liquid form of poison hemlock. It's crazy.
Oh, wow.
And actually, if you dig into it, there's a lot of humor in how they're named, because... Sorry, Frank. He's like, we're wrapping up. But a number of these plants...
I'm hungry, guys.
Here, you can have my food.
Oh, okay.
Were named after the different deities in the pantheon of, like, the Greek pantheon and all of that, because these, essentially the religious groups that would worship those gods, it's kind of scary to think about how many plants there are around us that you do not want to eat too much of, because it has hallucinogenic properties, and they literally would name the plant after whatever they were, channeling. That just got weird all of a sudden. But I heard my dad just pointing out and naming plants here and there, and I was like, what?
It's crazy.
Why is it named that?
Like all this stuff that you just see around in your freaking yard growing, has such a rich history to it. It's
everything.
amazing.
There's some history.
Yeah.
All right. So CB, what can we do to support you?
If people want to, first of all, I just want to say, for you super troopers that stuck, true to the end, thank you. And that, I have Indiegogo going on right now, 80-page plus book. Please check it out. If you're somewhat interested or maybe not interested, at least go to the Indiegogo page, play the video, and just, read what the book's about and stuff like that. Check out the images, because you can get several different images from the various contributors that contributed to the book. And consider contributing today, hopefully, because there's only 8 days left. It's a really good book. It's going to be fun. FUN is the main thing. If anyone has any questions, they can always message me and stuff, which is a good segue into social media. You can find me all over the place. If you Google CB Smallwood, you'll find me. Look for the purple bear. You'll see. Well, he's not actually purple, but the background of it is. And
The
it'll say
background
CB
is
Smallwood.
and wear
And
sunglasses.
you'll find me mainly on Twitter, YouTube, and Odyssey, which is awesome, and pretty much everywhere else. But that's the main three I mainly kind of play around with. And I'm really grateful to be here. It's been fun, and thanks to everybody that's contributed. And that's it.
Thank you.
It's been great having you. And so check out CB's YouTube channel because he does stream there occasionally, sketching past midnight.
It's true.
Yay.
And there is a link in the description. There is also a link in the pinned comments to the Indiegogo. So go back it. It looks like an awesome book. There's a lot of great creators in there. And, want to remind you, go, Turaco Cola brought to you by Jim Luhan. So go check out his stuff there. And you want to find my stuff, you want to support me, you can, there's a tip, PayPal tip jar here somewhere, but you can also get this finally printed, finally got in my hands, and I like to get it in your hands. If you prefer a digital copy, there in the link below, right there, Turaco Comics, you can go to the Etsy store, and you can also go to the Gumroad. And with a digital copy, you actually get 2 books for like $6. This is $20 plus shipping, but I think it's well worth it. And what I've been doing, and I have an example here. I'm so professional. So I mark because originally it was 25 copies, but I checked and actually got 7 extra copies. So I'm kind of holding on to those, but I do mark like the number of out of the date that I got them, and like so this is like 3 out of 25, first printing. I will sign it on this backboard, leave a little note, autograph it, and do a sketch. So
Very cool.
that's that comes that I do that with your whenever you order it. So and you get this cool book that took about a year to make, and that's only the start of it. And I did hint at the project that we're doing. So we are revamping the whole world. Anna's writing a great script. So that's
Yeah,
like 90% of Anna writing this epic thing. So we're aiming for 100 pages. As soon as Anna polishes up the script, I'll start doing thumbnails and stuff like that. But yeah, if you want to support what I do, you can pick up the comics, go to the Etsy store. I still have some of the mini comics of the original stories that went in here. So if you want to see what it looked like, one of the things that I did with this, so I went back on the pages and I drew a mustache on Captain Goggles here. So this is the mustachioed edition. So pick it up while you can. And thanks for everything, guys. CB, thank you for coming on. Finally, we're able to have you on as an official guest.
Oh yeah.
And, there's my PayPal. So if you just want to, hey, support, don't donate tips. You support what I do. It's much appreciated. And I think that's it. So we'll see you next time. Same Turaco channel. Time might change, but thanks everyone, and see you later.
Catch you later.
Catch you later.
Wait.
Bye.